What's going on, everybody? Today it is October 26th here in south central Wisconsin, and we are really starting to pick up in the pre-rut here. I haven't been out for a couple days. My dad was out last night, and he's also out again tonight. He was sitting in a stand in the back part of the property, stand that I originally laid eyes on Nemo. He's back there again tonight. So last night he was out and I wasn't able to make it, and he was in that spot and he saw a lot of deer, and he did not see Nemo, but Nemo was on camera right here to my left in this food plot at 6:20. So I would assume that he came out of the cattails last night, usually in that spot where my dad is. You can see them coming out of the cattails, but if he snuck out where I saw him on Friday night of last week, where I got within 35 yards of him, then he would not be able to see him. So we have very, very similar conditions tonight as we did last night. It was a little breezier, but it was an east wind, and that's kind of what we're flirting with now. It's a little bit of north, mostly east, with a little bit of west in it, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of swinging a little bit here. I guess I shouldn't say west, I should say south, excuse me. But regardless, my scent is blowing down here to the east, which is this ditch out in front of me. I have very little wind. It's maybe 1 to 2 miles per hour, but my thought process is what Nemo did last night, because this is a similar wind, is he probably walked right by that tree stand that I was on Friday night, just because of the way the wind plays out. And he snuck up into these willows, and then he fed right into this food plot here to my left. So we're hoping for the same thing tonight. My dad saw a ton of deer last night. Again, and he's in a pretty good spot tonight. So basically we have Nemo cut off. If he heads north out of the cattails, he's either going to run into me or my dad. And he would head more northwest to run at my dad. So we've been seeing him a lot. There was only one night we didn't get him on trail camera over the last, whatever it's been, probably 2 weeks. So there's no reason to believe he's not in here. So we'll see what happens tonight. Temps are in the low 50s. Like I said, light breeze, high pressure. Hopefully we got a good hunt. Stick with us. Let's hunt. Alright guys, whew. Craziness. So, Nemo is a herding unit. Just to recap a little bit here, so he come out, it was early, it was probably like 5:15, an hour before close. Came out of this food plot, kind of nudging some does around. He was coming this way, and ended up going back the other direction and hit that mock scrape that I got. And he worked his way, kind of coming back this direction, and then he was kept nudging some of them does, and he ended up working off to the west a little bit towards my dad. And once he had crossed that ditch, he was actually coming back to the north, kind of circling around, coming my way again. And I think what happened was he got my wind. He was northeast or northwest of me, excuse me, southwest of me, and we got an east wind, and it's been ever so faint blowing northeast. And I mean, I'm kind of having a hard time that he'd smell me from 80, 90 yards away, because milkweed is literally just dropping right down. But he sure acted like it. So he kind of headed off, working to the west, which there's another scrape back there, which I'm guessing is where he was going to on a pretty good clip. And as you can see in the footage, he ended up coming right by my dad. Yeah, he got the shot off. He said it was about 20, 25 yards. You can see in the footage when he turns real slow that he's, the arrow's only in one side of him. It didn't go all the way through. And he is a little bit high and a little bit back. I'm not exactly sure if he clipped lungs, but just watching him how he was running after he was hit. He was a herding unit. So he kind of circled down to the marsh, and he stood there for the longest time, and he bedded down. My dad from the stand can see big areas of blood. He said basketball-sized splotches of blood on the canary grass. So I think he hit him pretty hard, but we're gonna give him some time. It's 6 o'clock now. He's gonna get out of the stand maybe 10, 15 minutes after dark, sneak out of there. We're gonna head up to the house, probably watch the footage a couple more times to get a better idea, and we'll give him a couple hours and sneak back out. So cross our fingers. We'll see what happens here. So check in with you guys in a couple hours. Alright, so it's the morning after. We went out last night, checked the arrow. We saw that the arrow was lost, and we went out, checked for it, couldn't find it, found a lot of blood. So the plan this morning is to head back out there. When we were actually looking for blood last night, we saw the deer. He was laying down looking at us in his eyes. We were only 20, 30 yards from where the original blood was. So we backed out. He didn't jump or anything, so we're sneaking back out this morning. Derek, my dad, and I, and hopefully recover Nemo. So see how it goes. I've been ready to stand up. What here? Got blood. Stiff as a board? It's not stiff?
He's stiff.
That would have been him then.
Yeah.
Oh, get him. Nice. Let's see what we got here. Nemo dead. The saga ends. Stiff as a board, huh?
Yep, he died last night early.
Yeah. Yeah, he did break that tine off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, congrats.
Yeah, now it's kind of almost depressing because you don't have a big one to hunt.
Yeah. No, he's. This is where we saw that deer last night. We were sneaking up here. We saw his eyes, and he was laying right there. I mean, that was 3 hours after you shot him. At least we did the right thing and backed out.
Well, I want to introduce everybody to Nemo. We've been watching him for a couple weeks. He's been on the trail cameras a lot, and we tried a couple times to outsmart him and just weren't getting it done. We would sit one stand, he'd show up underneath another one, and it was kind of going back and forth. And last night we had kind of a bad wind actually, and Eric and I talked, and he decided to go in this one stand, and I said, well, I'm going to go back farther, and I said, you know, one of us should have a close encounter, I would think. And so he texted me that he had him in this food plot where he was sitting, and I thought, well, I said a little prayer and thought, you know, hopefully Eric was going to get a nice buck this year, and he came close, but he didn't quite seal the deal, and a doe kind of left the food plot and came right by me, and I thought, well, here he comes, and the buck kind of walked halfway between Eric and I, and then he went back towards Eric, and I thought, well, maybe he's going to get his shot now, and he just kind of kept on going round and round in circles, and then he finally started coming down this trail, went off to my left, and I had about a 17 yard shot, and took the shot, and he must have just taken a step just as I shot, and I hit him back a little bit, and so we left him for about 3 hours last night, went back out, and we found him, and he was blinking at us in the flashlights, so we backed out and left him overnight, and came out this morning, and he was deceased. So he was the biggest one on the property so far this year, and hopefully we'll have another bigger one out here for Eric to shoot in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, great experience, and kind of depressing when you shoot a big one like that, because that's kind of the one that you hunted, you know. But it was a good day.
It's got that good feel. We got out here plenty early, drove the four-wheeler back, parked it in a bush. So this is Grandpa's first time out hunting this year, so hopefully we get a nice buck come by, or even a little buck, and something that we can put a tag on, and hopefully get some meat for the freezer, right?
Right. I want it understood, though, that either my grandson, who is Eric, or my son, Doug, is going to gut the deer for me and cut it up, skin it out, cut it up, and do all of the necessary work, including paying for the cutting.
They're going to pay. We're supposed to, I think that goes to your firstborn, which happens to be your son, not your grandson. So we will drop that on him after we shoot a deer. He'll be pleased to hear that.
Yes, he will.
All right, well, we're going to try and stay quiet. We'll probably be laughing most of the night, but till then, hopefully we see some deer.